Hey, all, I just wanted to share something that I think is pretty serious that borrowers need to know about. I think that the SAVE plan could potentially be in legal peril. So let me explain what I mean by that. Let me explain who should be worried about this, who needs to be thinking about this. So, specifically like the SAVE plan, obviously came out from the Biden administration, was released about a year ago. 8 million people are on it. So you might say, how in the world could the SAVE plan be in legal peril? So there's two separate cases going on right now. One of them is brought by a coalition of states like Alaska and Texas that have something called FEL loans. And the argument that these states are making is mostly that these these states are losing out on money because their FEL loans are disappearing because of the IDR account adjustment, really. But they're arguing it's because of the SAVE plan. And a judge just granted those states standing. Now, the judge said this is weaker standing than, the Biden v. Nebraska case that stopped cancellation. But the judge still granted standing to hear the case. And so that's pretty concerning, right? Because you've got three states making a pretty speculative argument about FEL loans being harmed by the SAVE plan. And the judge is open to it, to listen to it. So this is the less concerning of the two cases. So what might happen is they might just ignore this and whatever. Maybe this case doesn't go anywhere. But there's a chance that they might stop the SAVE plan over something like this. Now, let me tell you about the second of the more concerning cases in my mind. So the first case, again, is this coalition of states that's essentially saying that their FEL loans, which is a program from before 2010, is being harmed. The interest income they're earning is being harmed by the SAVE plan because people are consolidating to get the SAVE plan. So the more concerning case in my mind is Missouri's Attorney General, oops, Freudian slip, right? Is suing on behalf of Mohila to try to stop the SAVE plan. And they're arguing that by doing retroactive, 10-year consolidation and less than 20-year, forgiveness, that they're basically allowing Mohila to be harmed from the revenues from the SAVE plan existing. So anyways, the Missouri Attorney General is bringing this case in the same exact court that they started the case that took down cancellation in. That's where he's bringing this case. And he's going to appeal this up to one of the most conservative appeals courts in the country if they lose, and then they will probably appeal that to the Supreme Court if they lose at the appeals court. So what that means is you've got the SAVE plan being challenged in court. Now, one of the reasons they're challenging it is because with cancellation getting blocked, the SAVE plan cost estimate jumps from $130 billion or something like that. That's what the administration said, to the Republican attorney generals are saying $300 billion. And so this is very much a very big regulation. It's a very expensive regulation. And the question is will courts care enough to intervene in this matter? And what will happen for people that have the SAVE plan that if this does get overturned? Now, first off, I don't think this will happen, but for at least a few months, hopefully, if it does happen at all. And, if it does happen, there's a decent chance that anybody who's on the SAVE plan would get to stay in the SAVE plan, which would be really nice. And so that's kind of what we're waiting on to see what happens. But again, nothing's happening to the SAVE plan imminently. I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression. But the SAVE plan is at significantly more legal risk than I have thought. And that's just because in April is when all these lawsuits got filed. That's literally just a few weeks ago. And these lawsuits all got vigorously filed kind of out of nowhere. And the reason, I think, is because the official full regulations of the SAVE plan are going into effect July 1. And that's coming up with literally a couple to a few weeks away. So I think that's what's going on. And so there is a potential that you might see an injunction against the rest of the SAVE plan being implemented by July 1, depending on the outcome of some of these cases. And one of the judges said that he would rule within a couple weeks. So this is a big deal to pay attention to. It's something to be thinking about. And it's probably yet more proof that student loans are never truly done in terms of a policy perspective. And they won't be until Congress gets involved and rewrites the Higher Education Act, which who knows if that'll happen. So if you have any questions about the SAVE plan, what might happen in the event of a SAVE plan repeal, if you have any concerns or questions about the lawsuits that are being filed, this is why you follow Student Loan Planners to get updates like this. So put them in the comments. I will say that I don't think the pay-as-you-earn program would go away if SAVE was overturned. So that's one positive, is I think they might reverse some of the regulations that they're doing if SAVE does get overturned. But we'll just have to wait and see, right? We'll have to wait and see. And who knows what will happen. They might extend the IDR account adjustment because of this. We'll just have to wait and find out. So any questions, put them in the comments, and thanks for following Student Loan Planner.